Rollin', Doja, sell out, numb, bust it for me, make me come, rollin', Doja.
Welcome to another and the last edition of Red Couch for 2017, and we're closing it off with Truey Donatello. I don't even know what to call him. Like, how do you say his name? Deuce?
It's Deuce.
Deuce.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the 33. I thought you counted 33.
It's like all intertwined basically. It's not really like a proper name change.
Why did you change? Oh, it's not.
It's not a name
Okay.
change. It's like Deuce is like my gaming ID. You know, like under all this, it's like I'm a video game nerd. I'd say. You know, I love video games and stuff. So whenever I'm registering online, and my name has always been Deuce. That's always been like my alias Deuce, and so I just decided to just bring that person to life because that's like who I really am. You know.
Yeah.
And so that's where it came from. So it just somehow snuck into the music, after a while. And even my boy started saying that there's a different persona when you start the song, when you say Deuce. And that's, where it started growing. So
Yeah.
that's basically where Deuce came from.
That's dope. I thought it's a whole, new haul and new journey, new vibes, but now I get it. Yeah.
No.
Where have you been? Like when you're watching, I was like, I have so many questions. And I just sat down quiet because I wanted to leave it for camera. Like, where have you been?
I've been building. Like, I've been an artist who's been around for a minute knowing what needs to be done. And so I feel like there are certain goals that I was trying to reach where there's a certain level that I'm trying to aspire to. And so to get there, there's certain steps that you need to take to get there, And some of those steps fall by the wayside. And so for me, the hesitation was when I wanted to come back properly. I don't want to come back, have like 2 or 4 or 5 or 6, 7 comeback attempts. I want to have one solid comeback and that's it.
That's powerful.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want this to be my last comeback, like, because I feel like it's my second attempt, So basically that's where the crux of that comes from, It's just from me trying to be a better artist and not wanting to sell my fans short. Especially with the music, it's like I make so much music that sometimes it's like my own dudes like say I sleep on myself, but it's just that I'm so paranoid about dropping a whack verse or a whack song. That's why I work so hard, Like I want people to really appreciate my art, appreciate my poetry, appreciate what I do in music, So I feel like that side of hip hop. I feel like not that it's dying, but I feel like it's almost become a niche and it never was that. So I feel like it's time for real lyricists to to come back and show the world that we can rap out here, Like it's not what you see, what you're seeing now, hip hop is more than that. And that's why for me, it's like I'll never rub my fans to that. So when I wanted to come back, how I'm coming back now, it felt right, the music's right. So that's why I'm coming back proper this time.
How does it feel to sit, to watch the game from the sidelines? Because obviously in that whole time where you're working, preparing, searching, everything else that you're doing, you're sitting on the bench. How does that make you feel watching the game like grow and change over the past like 4 years?
I'd say that it's inspiring, but at the same time it's also motivational for me. When you're younger, you tend to sometimes get jealous, but then when you like become a grown rapper and come of age, you start to find different ways to appreciate your peers in the same industry as you. I'm not afraid to be a fan of dudes, and it's something I didn't do when I was young and something I'm doing now. But when I see them now, it's just like, it fuels my fire of contribution. Like, I just want to contribute to this hip hop. Like, I want to be one of the names that contributes to SA hip hop. Like, that's basically my goal. So when I'm sitting there on the couch, as much as I'm thinking of doing things better than whoever I'm seeing, it's not because I'm aiming at them or anything. It's for me to take the culture forward, for people to recognize that there's deeper talent in SA, and I'm one of them,
What is an artist that's been active in the game for I think you actually have 8 years in the game before you took your hiatus, like you've been pushing.
Yeah.
What does an artist who's kind of been doing that for so long do when they're not on the scene? Like, what's going on in your head? What do you get up to every day? Because that means your routine has changed. Maybe you're in studio, but then maybe it's different because it's like, what am I recording for, What are you doing that time?
It's basically in that time, I'll admit, I try to quit. I try to quit. I can admit that I try to quit rap.
I remember after planning a span, you
yeah.
went through this moment where you're like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done with this ish, you know. And so I started like learning how to be a chef and explore other things that I'm interested in, you know, investing in games and development and thinking about that. But at the end of the day, like I roll around with guys who just love hip hop dearly. My friends, or you know, some of my friends, they like heads, like they just crazy about hip hop. And so it was them, like after a couple months of nagging, they were like, yo, you really gotta, you know, get into it again, man. Like we miss you rapping, like we really miss you rapping. And like hearing them say that, for me, it was just like, oh man, like I shouldn't be that selfish, you know, to think that just because
it's all about
doesn't, it doesn't feel right for me, it feels right for them. So that's why it's like the way I move now, like it makes me happy when my boys go crazy and I inspire them, you know. And they say that I make music that makes them go through stuff, you know. That makes me rap for them, you know what I'm saying? And that allows me to balance out myself because I get gratification from seeing my dudes being happy with my music.
Yeah. You're coming back now, and luckily for you, you have like people that I think know exactly what to do and have their eyes on the ball. But like, is the game still the same? Like, are you starting from scratch? Do you pick up from old contacts? Like, how does it work?
Definitely an essay. Like, you have to. Like, when I was young, I'm blessed that like I met half the industry like before they even blew up, you know. And so coming into the game now, it was very simple for me to just reopen those relationships, which is very key, you know, because a lot of those dudes have shown me love when I was younger, you know, and I really wasn't taking this thing as seriously. But opening up those relationships is key because at the end of the day, I've just recently reopened some relationships up, and I just realized that some of these dudes are actually fans of me. And so that humbled me, you know, and that was like a turning point for me to realize that, hey man, some of these dudes ain't so bad, you know. And so it's very important for rappers to not get into their heads too much and just reach out sometimes. And also as well, if the dudes don't reach out back, man, like I feel like for all the up and coming dudes, it's not because it doesn't feel you or anything. It's just like there's 1,000 of yous, man, like that's doing the exact same thing, man. And it gets irritating for them. Like, and so I feel like as up and comers, we need to just understand where these guys are at their careers and stop trying to beef and stuff and stupid stuff and give dudes the benefit of the doubt. Because at the end of the day, when you're in position, you're going to be doing the same because why he did that, and that's not how we move forward. So I feel like I want to be one of those rappers that tries to change that.
That's so powerful. I feel like all this time has given you all the time in the world to like figure a lot of things out and get a new perspective on the game and just everything. And it's so important, the lessons that you're actually saying, especially for upcoming artists. So who are you working with now? You had released Body Bag 2 in February.
Yeah.
So that's when I thought, okay, he's coming back. It looked like you were getting ready. You're like, okay, I'm coming back, Body Bag 2. My name is Zeus as well. What happened?
So basically, it was just like, with everything, like the main question or whatever, asking me, it's like, clearly, obviously, like, pick me up. And so I'm grateful for that, and I'll forever be grateful for that. Like, you know, sat down and we chatted and we wanted to do stuff, but sometimes things don't go the way you want them to go. And like I said, I'm speaking about giving people the benefit of the doubt. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because I know what he's been going through and stuff, you know? But at the end of the day, it's just nothing happened. There's no like bad blood or anything, just nothing happened. Like, and so I wasn't gonna be sad with the situation. I just, you know, picked up my socks and kept it moving. And so that's basically what happened. And so it led me to go back to the drawing board, you know, basically realign myself, realign my team, you know, get back in with my boys, you know. Felt like I needed that core again that I started with, you know, back from MVT, 47, sign up. You know, I needed that energy around me again, you know, that's why I needed my boys. And so that's why they helped me get to this place. Obviously, why it takes so long, because everyone knows the independent hustle is not as glamorous as a major one. Definitely. But that's why it's taken so long, because for me, it's like I wanted to make sure everything is right, all my ducks are in a row. I don't like to release stuff and then wing it because of what you're receiving, you know. I don't want it to like drop and then you're like, okay, you're waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. Like, I like plans. So that's why everything now comes out with the proper structure, you know, the backbone.
So is it 10 toes or is it 10 toes down?
It's 10 toes down.
10 toes down. 10 toes down. I've been seeing it on the socials. And people are going crazy about it. When is it coming out?
It's coming out this month.
Yeah.
Towards the end of this month, you know. It's got a special feature. I don't want to mention it now.
Yeah.
So that's my comeback single, you know. And basically, why I chose that song is because I made my name like ciphering at Verge, ciphering at Gandhi Square, you know. And because I used to go to Parktown Boys, so I used to skip out from hostel just to go there and cipher.
This guy.
No, trust me, but the thing is, it's like, cause I hated hostel, I
Yeah.
hated the whole environment and hostel and stuff. But like when I was out there with the poets and, you know, even the scientist rappers, you know, I spit an atom into many
to
bars.
medulla oblongata.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, those
Yeah.
dudes were there too, you know. So for me, you know, the way I rap, I've always been rapping like this, cause like my favorite rapper is Hope. So I even fought through like, this guy comes with this swag rap, whatever. It's like they always used to give me like, but you got punchlines though, you know. But like that's for me, that's where like the hip hop, you know, started, and for me it was just like it grew into this thing where it's just like, nah, man, you know, I gotta get into this thing, you know. And that's where like a lot of my inspiration comes from, is my boys and my memories and where I've come from, and I put that all in the music.
Yeah. Would you say that what had driven you to take a backseat, like you're saying, you're not someone that half steps and it frustrates you to not get something right or do it the right way? Would you say that what had driven you to feel like quitting was a point of giving up or depression or all those kind of feelings where you're just like, I can't do this anymore? Or was it, what I'm trying to say is like, was it, because I know the game gets to you.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, you know what, sometimes you feel like, why am I even doing this? But I mean, in terms of your emotions and what was going through your mind, what really pushed you over the edge?
As weird as this may sound, I got sick and tired of people telling me that you're supposed to be bigger than what you are. Mm-hmm. I heard that so many times that I used to get angry at people when they were telling me this, you know. And I also got like tired of hearing that, yo, you're the best, you're this, because it was like, these are words in the air and the fruitation is not there. And so when you get to that type of point where you can't even accept, you're so frustrated that you can't even accept props. I was like, this, I don't think this thing's for me anymore. Cause I feel like I bust my ass in the studio, you know, and at the time I didn't understand that it was factor A, factor B, factor C, all these factors that I now know that didn't get me there. But at the time I was just, you know,
you're just frustrated about
just
where you
frustrated
wanted
that like
to be.
everyone tells me that, yo, you're good, you're this, you're that, whatever, cool. But I'm like, no doors are like opening, nothing's like happening like that for me, you know. So that's what it was when I was just like, you know what, I'm good. You know, like, all right, cool, right? You guys hip hop, I tried, but you can have that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm done with that.
Yeah.
So when my boys brought me back, obviously, that's why I came back with like a much different and a more calmer energy as well. Like I'm wearing 10 times.
Yeah, you're like
more focused.
really, really laid back. You
Yeah.
know.
No, the thing is, it's like as well, it's like, I used to be wild and stuff, like, but like, it's the first time I feel like I'm in control of myself, my energy and my belief. No one can shake me right now, like, that's how I feel, like, I've gone through too much. I just want to live my dream, and that's all, man, with all due respect, that's just what this youngin' right here is trying to do. I'm just trying to live my dream.
I'm so proud of you for leaving and for coming back. Because
I appreciate it.
when your passion is frustrating to you, you need to let go, because then that becomes you on the road, you know, being burned down to the ground. So as painful and shocking and quotation mark dramatic as it may be, but I mean rather your sanity than anything else. So I'm really proud of you for that, because you get artists that just force themselves to be in the game, and you can see artists lose themselves, you know.
Yeah.
So they go through patterns where you're like, this guy is not who he's supposed to be, and it's coming out in the music. So I'm really proud of you for that. Very risky, but very important. And I wish you luck, man. I'm so excited to see you come back, because I know you're an artist that like really takes their work seriously. Like I've actually never had a work verse from you, so
Thank you.
So I'm looking forward to that. Like, is the music different? Obviously, as an artist, you grow, so the music will be different. But I mean, what's different about the music now?
The difference in my music now is that it resembles my personality much more closely than any other music I've ever released. This music symbolizes who I am better than anything I've ever made in my life. My new music, like that's why I said 10 Toes, is like, I'm a street dude. I love the street anthem from Jeezy to Ludacris, T.I., you know, the classics. Like,
Yeah.
I grew up on that. So for me, that's why I'm gonna give him that, you know. And also as well, I wanted to especially mention that, like, you were mentioning artists, a lot of artists who don't go through a transformation that like I'm trying to go through right now, but a person who I really related to is Zinga. I feel like me and Zinga went through the exact same thing. We all had heights and then we all have been disappointed, you know, and I feel like me and him, like that's where me and him connect, you know, and every time I see him it's love, you know, and we've even had this chat that I'm talking about now about how our journeys are so similar, you know, and so shout out to him, man, like especially when he hooked up with Maporisa and, you know, and Tweezy, and he started getting back. I was watching his move and I was like, yeah, man, like that inspires me. See, I was telling him about like I can be fans of guys, like where he inspired me, where like this kid is taking it back. You know what I'm saying? Like doesn't matter what anyone thought of him, he's taking his own back. And so for me, I was just like, man, I'm inspired. I want to take mine back too. And that's what I'm trying to do.
That's powerful, man. You're gonna get it right. It's done. It's happening. It will happen. And 10 toes down, you're hitting the ground running. So excited.
Yeah, this
so
month.
Yeah,
this month's gonna be coming out. It's gonna be hot. The videos was gonna come out soon, so it's crazy, man.
Who you feeling in the game right now? So obviously, as you're watching you watching, you know, the television or whatever, listening to the radio. Who's some of the people that you've been vibing to?
That yellow dude, man.
Yeah,
Shane
Eagle.
I really love his music, man. I'm also feeling, who's this artist? I'm also feeling Frank Casino.
Yeah.
I think like what Frank is doing is really, 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 really dope. He's come in and really, you know, turned it around for himself, you know. But without a doubt, I have to mention though, my favorite artist right now, it has to be Java, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
There's so much talent in that man, it's ridiculous. I'd love to work with him.
Universe, Java, we're getting it done.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
MT, I'm also a big fan of MT.
Yeah.
By Nando's a crazy album. I'm also excited for Pretty Ugly's album. You know?
Yeah, I also want to see how that's going to turn out.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of dudes as well that like I haven't mentioned. Yeah, the Les, like High Level, love that album.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, like, those are a few. I know there's much more, but like, I'm loving what's been happening right now, if they say hip hop.
Yeah. That's dope, man. That's dope. All right, man. That's it. I just needed to know what's in your head, what's going on, where we at, and we're okay. I'm happy you're okay. I always feel like sometimes when we're going through things, we just never see the end of the mountain. I'm so glad you're here, and I want you to know that like we've got your back.
I appreciate you guys so much, man. Thank you for having me.
10 Toes Down is coming out on Slick-On Live. I already said it.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens if you booked it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's gonna be smashed.
Yeah.
I won't do it. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Truey Donatello. So what's your Truey Donatello still?
Yeah, I'm Truey Donatello, aka Zeus, aka Lord Finesse.
No, I'm so over you. Truey Donatello, ladies and gentlemen, the last red couch for the year. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Broadcast live